Hello, hello, hello. We are back in the room. Oh, that was a week, wasn't it? Indeed, that was a week. And here we are again. I imagine I'm on my own. Hands in. This is sorry to hear about your papa. And more condolences again for those who aren't in the stream or never watched the video. We had to let Hannah go on Friday, and I'm still a little bit. Again, am I sore? No, I'm a bit better with it, but now I'm going through that period where I keep thinking she's still here. You know, I can hear her breathing, and I think she's in the room. It's strange. Grief is very, very strange. It's a strange thing, but we carry on. It's the new thing is trying to get another dog, and it's almost impossible. I am approaching the dogs rescue places like Battersea and Dogs Trust and everything, but no one's replying to me. I've emailed applications and forms and whatnot, and I'm dogless, and I'm not enjoying it. I do not like it, but I'll keep on doing it. Yeah. Thomas says, "Hi Darren, I'm sorry, I've lost 2 recently, and I feel your pain." Yeah, and Jason says, "Even sorry about your dog." Thank you. Yeah, so again, it's because it was so quick. It all happened so fast. It was different with Alex because he was old and Hannah was relatively young. Now, if she was as old as they said she was only 7. But again, we kind of agreed with the vet that she appeared a bit older than that just by the condition of her teeth. But yeah, just everything failed, yeah, it all happened really quickly and it was horrible. So yeah, what can you do, eh? I just miss her. I miss her a lot. It's weird, because I thought, with Alex that was bad, but this is worse. And again, other dogs have all been old. Even Meg was like 10 when she went, and that was kind of sudden. Different. It was different. It was sudden because it was on the same day. Mum just whisked her away and had her put down because her back legs went. She twisted herself, and her back legs failed. My mum just scooped her up and took her to the vet, and when that was the last I saw of her, which was quite brutal. But I'd have put her in a wheelie and walked her around, she'd still be alive. You know what I'm saying? But different times, I guess. But yeah, just like I said, I find it very hard to get any response from the dogs home, and I keep reading press stories of various places, whether it's Battersea or Dogs Trust or RSPCA, saying that they've got too many dogs, there's a crisis, we've got too many dogs, people are dumping their animals, blah, 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 blah. But you make it so bloody difficult for anyone to access your animals. Again, in the old days you could rock up, have a look, talk to them, they'd take your details, you'd see a dog, they'd check you out, and then you'd take the dog away. But now, appointment only. All I keep getting is, you've got to have a garden, you've got to have a garden, you've got to have a secure garden. We've got a garden, it's a shared garden, it's not particularly secure, any dog could probably jump over it, but we have all these green spaces where I've always exercised Alex and Anna both, they're exercised there. So again, I've got a feeling I can't see me getting a dog before Christmas at this rate. It's been rather, unless I go privately, and there are a lot of dogs out there that people want to get rid of, because they can't either afford them or the situations have changed. But it's not a rescue home. You don't have the security of a rescue home. You could actually, we have hot beverage. There you go. Okay. Thank you very much. So yeah, I mean that's something. It feels like I'm applying for a job. It's that same energy of filling out forms, filling out application forms and not hearing anything back. It's that same energy. And I don't like it very much. It's making me more miserable, because I like the idea of things moving forward. Again, the kids are keen to, get a new companion in the house, but it's just, I don't know, it's strange. I think they're being so careful. So you've got these rules. You've got these rules now. You've got to be experienced with a particular breed before you can take on the breed. What if you don't want the same breed? What if you don't want a different breed? Of course, then there's the thing about you can't have children. They said that about Alex. Yeah. And he ended up being a cushion for Herb. Yeah. Shouldn't be around children, that one. He's a biter. What they didn't say is he really hated little old ladies. They never told us that. Oh no, they never told us that. I found that out when going past bus stops, and he'd stop and growl at little old ladies. Took him a year of training to get over that, because obviously it was a little old lady that had tortured him and had been very mean to him. But yeah, they're obsessed. Oh, can't have kids. Can't have kids. You've got to have a garden. Can't have kids, but you've got to have a garden. Well, I've got kids, and I've got a garden, but it's probably not ideal. But again, we have all these open spaces. We have Epping Forest in that direction. Epping Forest. We have a forest literally within spitting distance, and all the open areas here. Hillyfields itself and Jessel Green. And we actually have an open space just right opposite us, staggering distance. Again, in the night when the dog needs a wee, I can take her over there or him over there. We are fully functional. 30 years of dog experience. Nah, got to have a garden. Robert's in. He says, evening. Convinces, hello Robert. Asking towards any vets bills. Oh, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Now, we had Anna fully insured, and I've not claimed any insurance on her. This is the first time. With Alex, we had him insured, but there was a certain age where I think after he went past 10, the insurance premiums were so expensive, and he had a recurring health issue with his skin that we just, we didn't bother. Plus, it was funny, as he got older, he required fewer trips to the vet. We just a yearly booster. His skin kind of cleared up, and he was, what happened towards the end, last few years, is he just, he went a bit bald. He went a bit, he'd lose some of his fur every so often, and it'd grow back again. It's like he molted, but it was patchy. Again, I think that's just being a geriatric animal. Sometimes I took pictures of him. He looked appalling. It's just where, he was a bit... but no, Anna's fully insured. But then I had a little bit of a weird exchange with the vet, because on the form it says, do you want it paid to the vet? So I filled it all in, and part of the insurance form, the vet's got to fill out and put in what happened, and all the details before they'll make their payment. So I forwarded it on to them, expecting them to deal with it and then get the money. But I got an email from saying, we don't do it like that. We want you to pay and then you to claim. To which I replied, yeah, but I still need you. I need the vet to fill in that second part of the form. I've developed a wheeze since not having the dog, which is a bit worrying. I don't know if the camera, the microphone picked it up. So yeah, I need the vet to fill in the second part of the form. But even so, the small print says I've got to pay excess plus 10% of whatever the claim is. Now, the vet claimed that her overnight stay and that's without her being the euthanasia. Just the overnight stay was going to be £1,200 with blood tests and everything. So you can add another, 100, 150 onto that for whatever else. That's without, because we paid for Hannah to be cremated, and we're going to have her returned to us in a little urn, dog-shaped urn, like I did with Alex, because the kids wanted it. I wanted it too, but we all voted. We did a family vote, and so she's going under. She's earned a place under the telly, with Alex, and that is just shy of £400. Boy, there are going to be some guitars sold. So that, I don't know if it's going to be covered by insurance. And so, of course, I've cleared my credit card bill, haven't I? This is the month I clear my credit card bill. And then I suddenly find myself, up to my eyeballs in... I've just put over, be just shy of £2,000 worth of credit card payments on it. It's like... So I'm really hoping that the insurance pays, for the majority of this. But again, I don't know about the death part of it. Again, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But thank you for Thomas has donated £5. Excuse me. He's donated £5. And again, don't let any of you be too shy to donate money, because it will all go to getting another dog. Because boy, dog rehoming fees have gone up. I was shocked. When we got Alex, it was £75. Hannah was 125, I think it was, 5 years ago. And I've seen £450 at some of these places. £450 for a stray, and foreign dogs being imported, which is weird, because I went to one place and it said it was a rescue, like you do, and I went, I'm interested in this dog. Maybe I didn't read the website properly. Maybe the tears had got in my way. But I got into a text exchange, which I thought was a bit odd, because email. Filled in all the forms. I filled in so many forms. Ridiculous. So I got into a text exchange on the phone, which I thought was a bit odd. And anyway, it turns out this dog's in Spain. And I'm looking at, I think, £425, £430 to import a stray dog from Spain. I'm thinking, we've got enough strays in this country. I said, of course, because I want to see the dog first. I want to take it for a walk. I want to, weigh it up, because it might not be suitable. It's all right going along, but you've got to get a feel for the animal. And so I politely declined the offer and said, well, normally I'd like to see the animal first, whereas you pay them the money and they ship you a dog in a crate from Spain. I mean, is that right? That doesn't feel right to me. So I nixed that one. And then I looked around and I noticed that there are a lot of these places, and it's like Spain or Romania, and I'm like, this seems to be an industry, and again, I'm completely pig ignorant to it, like this, because it's only when you start looking that you get a little bit of an education. Because I wasn't looking for a dog before this, obviously, because I had one, and everything seems to have changed. Maybe these places were around before, but I just went to Battersea. Now Battersea, I haven't even replied. I mean, and I'm a customer. I'm on record, So it's got all really complicated. Everything's really, really complicated. Meanwhile, there are people online, there's various websites where you can give people money and they'll give you their dog, because they've had a change of circumstance. But again, that's a whole new thing, isn't it? That's a whole new. Is the animal well? Is it? It might be sick. It might have behavioural problems, and then you're kind of stuck with it, and it's like, oh God. And the further away I get from this, the less likely I am to want another dog, because you're cool to the idea, and you just go, no, I'm done. But I need another dog, because I need to keep moving. I need the walking. I mean, I've been walking, and the missus has been going out for walks and everything, but I haven't been out for a walk. The evening walk. I'm not going to go out at 11 o'clock at night on my own, am I? That's a different kind of dogging. So I'm missing certain walks, and I just worry that as long as the time goes on, because I know what it felt like after Meg died. There was a time when none of us talked about it, and then my grandparents died one by one, and then I said I didn't get another dog until I was made redundant, and I went a bit mad, and so I got a dog just to stabilise me, and Alex did that. He brought me back from the edge, as it were. He saved me. And this is what I'm feeling now. I've never felt, I thought, sometimes I feel a bit miserable, but I've never felt so miserable for a long time. I feel really angry about this. I really do. It's like it's a person dying. You go through all the stages of grief, but I'm feeling really angry because I don't feel we had enough time, And I'm feeling ill as well. I feel physically kind of beaten by it. So I want to get another one so I can concentrate and fixate on that. And I think being a dog owner, or at least being in close proximity to a dog, is part of me. It's part of my psyche. It's who I am. And I was watching this piece. There's this piece on, I don't know, American TV, and I was talking about the way they reckon that the only reason that Homo sapiens advanced is because our relationship with dogs, because it taught us empathy, and we became empathetic towards each other and other creatures, and that's how we prospered, because the other cavemen, the other homos out there, never developed that sympathy, and that empathy for their fellow cavemen and their fellow animals. Whereas us and the dogs, we carried on. They hunted for us. They kept us safe from the wolves and the bears. And that relationship has gone on for thousands and thousands of years, and may it long continue. I believe in it. I believe it is a magic, sacred bond. I really do. It is something amazing about the dog. Something amazing about them. I'm waxing lyrical, and I'm not paying any attention to the chat room. Sorry. Convinced says, my garden looks like a junkyard with a few square feet. No doggy for me then. Yeah, but if you've got high fences, you'll be fine. Like I said, we have a shared garden with another tenant in the block over there. It's 2 strips of land separated by a pathway, and I just don't take the dog in there out of courtesy, Not that the dog did anything. I think I sat in there maybe 4 times, in the summer. Not recently because of the COVID and everything, but before COVID, I might have sat in there a couple of times. I've lost count. I don't really, didn't really count, But in terms of exercise, there's loads of places, and I'm not someone that lets the dog off the lead anyway. If a dog wants to run, they can run up and down the stairs. We've got loads of stairs for them to run up and down, and Anna used to do that when she felt like doing the zoomies. She ran up and down the stairs. Excuse me. Even Alex used to zoom up and down the stairs when he was younger, when we was at the other place. So. You don't have to have a garden. And when Alex was in the garden, he just lay around in it. He didn't run around. He didn't run around in the garden. He laid in it. He laid in the sun. So I says, hi Darren, heard about Hannah. I'm very sorry, deepest condolences. Thank you. Pinks is in. He says, evening. He says, my condolences. Losing a family member very easy. It surely isn't. But I'm feeling a bit. I'm not as weepy. Now I'm spitty instead. I'm not crying as much as I have been. I cried a lot. I've cried a lot because I'm a 51-year-old soft sack of shit. I'm just a bag of emotions, really. But I feel a bit better. I'm angry now. I really am. I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry at the fact that none of these dog rehoming places wants to even reply to me. You get the odd automated reply, but there's at least 4 or 5 of them I've not even got an acknowledgement. So, what's that all about? Bjorn says, good evening from Norway. Hope your dog places respond soon. Sorry for your loss. I hope so soon, Bjorn. Tom says, vets know they can charge what they want because people love their animals so much. Indeed. Before, as we were being treated by the vet, she said, is Anna insured? And I said, yes. And she went, for how much? How much? She leant in, how much? And I think she may have been rubbing her hands like that. How much? And I foolishly said, whatever it was, £2,000. Oh, it's going to be 1,200 then. At least. I should have said £1. or something. It was, yeah. Convinced there's 100% truth in regards to the vet and what the vets charge. Alex says you'd have to learn Spanish to communicate with it. Indeed. I mean, what's all that about? Or Romanian? I mean, crikey. And the funny thing is, I've noticed that there are a lot of Romanian dogs who are also wanting rehomed on Pets for Homes, I think it's called. It's another website. It's like a bulletin board thing. And they've obviously been with their families and it's not worked out, they've come over and is it just a language problem? Do they understand English? I mean, there must be a communication issue here with dogs that are from other countries. Yeah, it's all become really complicated. Again, blimey, back in the old days down Walthamstow Market, if anyone, I don't know, got into any financial straits, so again, I remember a guy with his dog on a string saying, anyone want to take my dog off me? And someone would go, I'll have it, mate. And that was it, just hand over the dog. You could go into pet shops and buy dogs, for well, whatever the price was, But then you used to have a lot of sick animals that would die really quickly. So remember, we had a dog that didn't last very long, little black puppy, and I could have only been about 7 or 8. We had it for a little bit, and then one morning I got up, to go to school, and it wasn't there. And I said to my mum, I don't think it even had a name. Where's dog gone? Or something. Maybe it had a name. I don't remember. And Mum said, there was something wrong with it. I was explaining it to the missus, and the missus says, it died, don't you? It died overnight. And I went, did it? 51 years, it's only taken me 40 odd years to figure that out. I thought my mum had just kind of given it away. She probably put it in the bin bag, in the rubbish or something, I'm so naive. I am so naive. It's ridiculous. Robert says it wasn't Pet Rescue. The dog seller's name was Petrescu. There are too many dog businesses on the continent and shady areas of the internet. Again, I wonder if it's like a front for something else, it don't feel right. There's something not right about it, Pink says, might have been Romanian. Indeed. Thomas says, I'm sure you'll find another dog and you'll have to look after him very, very well. You're a good person, Darren. Thank you. Well, the dogs always like me. That's the thing. The dogs always like me. And I think, again, I always believe that dogs are a reflection of you. And I believe that you give me any dog, and I'll make that dog the best dog it can be. And this is what I'm annoyed about Hannah, because Hannah was very damaged. She was very timid and shy, and she was just opening up. She was just, sleeping wherever she wanted, and stretching out a bit. And it took us 5 years to get to that, because of her. Well, again, I think she was a puppy farmed dog. She was kept in cages. She didn't like sitting down. She was always like standing up. She would very reluctantly sit down, and you wonder if she was kept in a very small cage so she couldn't sit. And it was getting to a nice place with her where you just felt she was coming out of herself, and I just needed a few more years. Now I'm getting upset again. That's why I'm getting a bit angry, because you just don't know. You just don't know what's wrong. She was always, like I said, she was a little bit of a sickly dog and suffered with her stomach. Like I said, it took me years to figure out what was making her ill, because she couldn't eat wheat products or anything like that, because she'd suffered terribly. And she'd be sick sometimes, sometimes, but she'd be sick and we'd clear it up. She'd eat, and then she wouldn't eat. And then you think, well, maybe she'd been ill all along, and maybe we should look her to the vet at the beginning. But she didn't come across as ill, because sometimes dogs eat too much and they throw up. Alex did, He used to gobble his food, belch and throw up. Dogs do that sometimes, and you clean it up, So, I don't know. It's one of those weird periods. And because it was easy after Alex, because I literally You know, we literally looked on Battersea Dogs website after Alex went, phoned it in, got an appointment on the Sunday after Alex passed, and then on the again that was again I can't remember the sequencing of Alex. When was it? I think Alex went. I can't remember what day it was. Alex went on the Tuesday, I think it was. It was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And of course, we couldn't see any animals during the week. Then we put in a. Yeah, that's it. I think Alex went on a Wednesday. We got the appointment on a Sunday. They wanted us to take her on Monday, but the missus couldn't get time off work because the missus was still working in London at that point, and we could only collect her on a Tuesday. And if we didn't collect her on a Tuesday, they were gonna nix the deal. So it was really quick. We actually got a new dog like with less than a week after Alex passing. And again, we told them our stories. We didn't make up any stories that we had a big garden. We were honest, and it was just really easy. It was really easy, and I like easy. I don't like this. So of course, I feel like I'm letting down the kids because Verity texts me every day from school. Any news on the dog front? It's like no. So it's just Bjorn says a colleague at work just did the Spain thing. Worked fine. Dog arrived safe in Norway from Benidorm. Oh yeah, I'm sure it does work fine, but I'm sure there's a lot of Norwegian dogs that need your help. I don't understand why you'd import an animal. I grew up with rabies, the idea of rabies being a killer on the continent, and those posters, the old rabies posters. So I don't know, just importing a dog that you don't know its history, and again you don't take it for a walk around the paddock. Took Alex for a walk around the paddock, took my mum's dog Cappy for a walk around the paddock, took Hannah for a walk around the rather large, expansive paddock of Brands Hatch, Battersea. That just checking each other out. Just imagine a dog turning up in a crate. Mind you, for Meg, the border collie from back in 1981, arrived in a crate from Devon, I think it was. But that's not Barcelona, is it? It's still in this country, and it's also very expensive. Like I say, it's about £425. I'm trying to get the RSPCA to give me a go. I've been applying with them, and their rehooming cost is in the region of £200, which is a bit more affordable. Still a bit spicy, but not as expensive as £400. And there are dogs online. Like I said, there are dogs on Pets for Home. I saw one the other day for 50. I could have got a new dog for £50, but they were, oh God, were they Dunstable, which is a bit of a distance from us, and it went off. It went really quick. So it's that thing of being able to get there, at the weekend or whatnot. And it is literally it's like you're fighting over these animals. I saw one that was in Enfield, which is not too far. A lovely dog called Maddie, and she went at the weekend. I put my application in, and they went, "Oh, someone's seen her today," and then she went. So I just missed out on that one. But that was like Saturday morning. That's when I started like doing the thing. So, Payne says it's a major change of the family dynamic to lose a pet. It is. I think again, it's because we had Alex for so long. Alex lasted so long, and this one, and I said to the missus when we got her, I don't think we're going to have this one long. I actually said that, and the missus will attest to that. And I was right, and I hate being right. I really do, because I had a feeling she wasn't like a well animal. I think because of her background, there was just something off about her, and she had this neurological thing where she'd blink a lot. So I think they'd hurt her head. I think they'd brain damaged her. Because there was one time she got excited and hit her head on the wall. and her pupils started doing that. And we took her to the vet, and they gave her an injection. They just said, "Oh, keep an eye on her," and it settled. But I mean, Alex bonked his head, and it never had an effect on her. But she was like, you know, her eyes were just like that. It was like something out of a cartoon. So, you know, I just wanted to look after her. So she had a nice life here. She had 2 beds, and best food. And yeah, I was robbed. God damn it. Convicted says, man and dog, Wallace and Gromit indeed. Payne says, the dogs gave our ancestors company and protection. The horses carried our loads and made us fast. The cats killed the rats and mice. Indeed. There is a symbiotic relationship with us and our animals. Again, crikey, the cats were worshipped by the Egyptians. They were given godlike status, you know. And mind you, you have the dog-faced gods as well. Was it Anubis? Is dog-faced, I believe. Who are you calling dog-faced? So it's really interesting. I find that the relationship between, you know, man and beast, you know, and I see that first relation. It's man and wolf. You know, that was the first one. I think it took a bit longer to domesticate cats. You know, it was a particularly lazy Garfield type cat who wandered in and started that one off. But I find it really fascinating. Thomas says, no shame in crying, shows you're human. Well, Cyrus says, I have had quite a few family members pass away. Again, it's nothing compared to human loss, you know. That's worse. It's really tough thing to go through, including when I felt like I could have spent more time with the loved ones. Indeed, it's the time you're missing. That's what you grieve. You grieve that time you grieve potential, you know, and that's truly what we grieve. And grieving's for the living, not the dead. We grieve for ourselves, really. We dress it up as us, you know. But really, it's almost a selfish act, you know. It really is, because it's what I want, and yeah, grief is a very funny emotion, and it's something you never recover from. I don't care what you say; it fades, and sometimes it prickles, and you're reminded of things. It's always, again, I was explaining to Verity, because even though she lost her nan and she's lost Alex, she was a bit younger then. And I said, but now you'll be aware of, like, you know, the first Christmas and the first birthdays and the passage of time since that person or animal passing. You know, and that's the first year is the hardest. You know, you kind of mark it out by time. You know, so yeah, but yeah, grief is for the living. But do you want to be a stone for the rest of your life? Not particularly. Someone says, living animal is hard. For us animal lovers, never get any easier. Try and explain it to a non-animal lover. They'll never understand. They probably don't have children either, do they? They're probably childless miseries. I like me freedom, they say. And then it's our kids that end up wiping their asses in the old folks' home, isn't it? Hex says, I once had a cat, Fickle, savage beast. I did walk 2 Yorkshire Terriers pre-2020 named Pinky and Perky. Lovely yappers. Yorkshire Terriers, yeah. My mum's last, we looked after him. We had him. Well, he was kind of our dog, because we used to walk him a lot. He was called Cappy. He was a Yorkshire Terrier. He was an older chap. Again, we didn't know how old he was. We got him from the same place we got Alex later on. And he was a Yorkie. When my mum died, he was still with her when she died in the armchair, you know, and he was still there. So I got to look after him. And he lived like a king for about 2 months, and then he passed on. He started having seizures, and because he was very, very old, we had to say goodbye to him. But he lived with Alex, even when we was when we had that car crash into us, and we all lived together. Him and Cappy and Alex were like best buds. You know, they got on and used to run around the garden together, and it was, you know. So he's kind of my dog as well, you know. So put that one in the mix, you know. Julius says, sometimes it's harder losing a human relation. So, sometimes harder than losing a human relation. Sorry for you. Well, again, it all depends on the human relation. If it's somebody that's distant, or it's somebody that's done you wrong, it's the unconditional love you get from a dog, and this is what makes them, quite perfect. And again, oh God, just thinking about it, when we saw Hannah in the vets and she recognised us and was and vocalising, which she'd never done, as if to say, you're here. She was just happy to see us. If she could have jumped up and run around and wagged her tail, she would have done. But it all came out through her eyes and her mouth. Oh, and that's what made it so hard to sign the paper. I wanted to just scoop her up and bring her home. I feel so wicked for doing it. I feel really, really bad for it, because I said to the missus, I should have just brought her home and looked after her and let her pass in her own bed with us all around her, because she would have done. If we hadn't taken to the vet, she would have probably died naturally on Friday with us here at home. But you spend money trying to save them, don't you? But after she, didn't recover, I was giving her the drugs after, the vet prescribed the painkillers and antibiotics on the Monday. By the Wednesday, I could see just how thin she got, and again, it's almost like, again, she just disappeared before our eyes. So yeah, that's just. Thomas says, only 7 likes. Let's start liking the stream. Nobody likes me, Thomas. Don't worry about it. I'm used to it. Nobody likes me, and nobody wants to watch my videos. So, this is where I'm at with my YouTube career at the moment. whatever that is. Oh dear. Robert says, what have the Germans ever done for us? I don't know. Didn't we eat them? Didn't we use them to make footwear, quality footwear? Bjorn says, I just watched your Queen Vinyl unboxing, and Alex was present in that, enjoying his meal. Same as Hannah. He's enjoyed having a kip and snoring. In these videos, they are present. Russell's in this evening. Bjorn says, could Hannah have been 14, 15 after all? Yeah, very likely, because we kind of agreed when we took her to the vet on Monday, because we thought it was a tooth problem, because she touched the side of her mouth and she kind of was like really in pain with it. So, and her teeth were again, I wish I'd have taken a picture. They were broken and chipped, and they were awful, discoloured. Now, your average dog, even Alex, his teeth were in good nick. I mean, they used to, as he got older, they used to fall out, and we'd find them on the carpet, great big, teeth. But he never grumbled about them; they just kind of came out, But this dog's mouth was in a terrible state. Now, whether she chewed her way out of cages, or had been in a fight, or it was where she'd been eating roadkill, we'll never know. Dog of mystery. But the vet looked at her and went, oh no, this dog's a lot older. Just kind of weighed her up, said, oh no, this dog's not 7. How much older? Well, they couldn't say for a distance, but I reckon she could have easily been over 10, maybe 12, especially the way she fell apart. Because I've seen other people's dogs go like this, and they're usually older. Usually they get to a certain age and it all goes wrong. It did happen to Alex. I was keeping him going, but then one day his body just went, I'm done, and started, his organs started to fail, and it was like that, but without a longer run up to it. It was just like a switch. So yeah, I mean, I think she could have been easily a lot older, and sometimes she acted like she was a bit senile. Like I'd take her out to the front door, and she'd turn in the other direction, waiting for me to open it. So she'd be looking away from the door. So maybe she was going a little bit blind as well. And like even here, you'd open, she'd go to the door, and I'd open it, but she'd go to the bit where it's connected to the wall, where the, and it's like she'd forget where things were, and you think, well, maybe this is, maybe it's just a really old dog and we didn't realise it. You know, who knows? Who knows? And then if she was, then that makes me feel really bad, because when she was slowing down, I was dragging her along a bit and going, come on, let's walk, you know. But then she used to be obstinate. When a few years back, she developed this habit of stopping dead, and I'd have to make a fuss of her for her to carry on walking. Have you ever heard of that? I'd have to make a fuss of her. All of a sudden, it's like she had a phase here of whenever I sat here, whether I was doing this or even just using the computer, playing guitar, she'd leave and go upstairs. She couldn't bear me to sit in this chair. This was the naughty chair for a good couple of years, and then she was fine with it. And I don't know what happened there. You know, highly strung, very strange. You know, but then that's what makes them interesting. You know? Karen says, love her snoring in the background. Indeed. Alex says, remember years ago, a newsreader had a family had a rescued dog from Wales. It didn't understand anything he said, so I had to learn Welsh. It was the only way the dog could understand. I like it. Well, this is it. You know, my mum's dog, he was called Cappy, but that wasn't his name. His name was Capkin. And they reckon he was Turkish because he never understood a word she said. But none of us, you know, I tried with some Turkish, but I don't think I was pronouncing it right. But yeah, he was another one who just turned a deaf ear to us. You know, if we tried to talk to him, he wouldn't listen. You know, Anna was the same though. She was, you know, But then saying that, when I spoke to her recently, you know, she was listening to me. I think she just liked ignoring me. I think she liked to do her own thing. You know. Bjorn says, my boy got hit with a tennis ball in the head, not even hard. And he did the eye thing for a minute, just like the cartoon. Very strange moment. Yeah, but Hannah did it for like over, was it like 48 hours? And it was just like every time I look at her, her eyes would be doing that. It's like she had like a serious concussion, and we were really worried. And it was around the time I witnessed that robbery. It was the same. Yeah, it's the same day. She'd done it. We'd taken her to the vet. And I saw the guy getting robbed. They jumped him for his Rolex. And they went down for a long time for it. But we were walking slow. Normally we'd be walking fast. She was pretty well, back in the day she was a fast walker. But we were walking relatively slow because she was like a little bit concussed. If she'd have been walking normal speed, I wouldn't have seen that. We'd have been walking past it. We wouldn't have seen what was going on, you know. Thomas says, I have 10 dogs now. 7 of them are about the same age, and they're all the Yorkie Chihuahua mixes, Chalkies. It'll be painful when they start going. That's a lot of dogs. Grant says, I still can't watch the end of Old Yeller. Don't watch Marley and Me. Yeah. Don't watch that one either. Andrew's in. He says, good evening to you. Grant says, I never realised how much I felt an animal till I lost one. Exactly, you don't. Even with Hannah, you know, I thought I wasn't as connected to her as I was with Alex, you know. I just thought she was like Alex's replacement. And then she got ill, and boy, that really did make me, you know, because again, it was a different kind of thing because it was so sudden. And there I am, you know, syringing water into her and porridge and dog food because I was smushing up her dog food. I bought these big syringes because was it Russell from Australia sent me 20 quid. So I bought some syringes. Ooh, and these big medical syringes that you can, you know, get porridge and dog food in, and I like to get. Also, I'd got some other ones because I only had one syringe and it was a bit too small. It was more for irrigating. You know, I needed something to get. You know, they come in different sizes, and some are better. You know, some you don't really want to be piddling around with a tiny little syringe. So I got some big ones. You know, so I was doing that, and that was all like last week. That was my focus. You know, and then you realise, and there was a tipping point. You kind of, like I said on Wednesday, I kind of knew, like, you know, I was hoping it was going to improve, but you know. And then you kind of go, oh well, do what we can do, you know. Convinced says, I must have been at 7 when my cat died. He was inside the house, which was unusual. After we buried him next day, I think it was my first experience of loss. Well, again, it's all children's first experience. You know, this is why it's good that kids have pets, because it gets them used to the idea that we're not here forever, you know, before, you know, their grandparents or parents die or whatnot. You know, it's a good, I think it's a healthy way of, one, fostering an idea of empathy into them, and two, teaching them about life, really, and you know, and responsibility, you know, because again, they could be responsible for the animal, and you know, it's a very important thing. Also, it's good because it fights off asthma, and you know, because you bring all the germs in, bring the germs into the house. You know, so I think it's really important that kids have pets. Yeah. Thomas says, oh, I like you and I watch your videos. Good for you. Dave is in. This is evening. Sorry about your dog. Thank you. Yeah, we just talk about that. We just going on about that. Well, and we also talk about the next phase of how difficult it is to get a rescue dog. Yet, again, I read an article today where they're crying out for people to rehome dogs, and you're going, well, why are you making it so bloody difficult? Andrew says, I know it sounds weird, but if you love your dog or any pet, it's the kind of thing you can do by putting them down. They would do the same for you. And then they'd eat you from the arsehole first. Did you know that? When you die, you know when you die at home, when you've got dogs, they eat you from the arse first, because it's the soft part, it's the bit that decomposes, and they eat you, arsehole first. Nice, isn't it? It's how I want to go. It's how I want to go. Well, no, of course, there is that thing, but we've also, you know, there's, you know, I know it's kind of kind, but it's still hard, you know. Blimey, we've got to the end. 47 minutes in, got to the end. I don't know, maybe we should talk about something else. I don't know, what does anyone want to talk about? Has anyone got any ideas? Should we talk about something else? We've got 35 viewers, that's not bad. 16 likes. Thomas King says, they eat you from the arse first. Are you being serious? Yeah, because all your bodily fluids start to putrefy, and it all starts to leak out of your arsehole. And the dogs smell this, and they think, soup. And they start to eat you from the arsehole out. True. It's true, that. It's true. Convince says cannibalism. Yeah. Jason says there's a new bird box called Divine Symmetry. Am I going to review it? No, I'm not. I got to save up for a dog. If it's on, is it out at the moment? Was it out last week? Because I'm just doing streaming at the moment. Because I'm only buying things like I'm only buying things like the reissue of bundles. Do watch my review by Soft Machine. That's all I'm buying at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's see if it's on YouTube Music. Oh dear. Let's have a look. David Bowie. David Bowie. It's David Bowie. Is it out or is it coming out? Divine Symmetry. Not yet. Maybe it's out. Maybe it's out this week. David Bowie. Divine Symmetry. Is it out? Oh, gurgles. £116? Are you serious? Wow. Well, I won't be reviewing that. That's just insane. That's just insane. I mean, it's a hunky-dory period. It's a shame because, oh, mind you, there's a vinyl. There's a vinyl. Did you know there's a vinyl? What's that got? It's got 12 tracks on it. Really? It's a vinyl companion to the 4 CD, 1 Blu-ray box set. Do. What's that bell? Do. That's interesting because that track, some of those tracks were already released, weren't they, as part of Record Store Day? Oh, blimey! I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it? 116 quid, mind you. Might as well put an affiliate link. Let's put an affiliate link in. There we go. There's an affiliate link if you want to buy it. Where are we? Music, says Thomas. Grant says, on another topic, maybe soon, too soon, Darren. I saw an interview with Beto talking to Stephen Wilson, and Wilson said that the reason the music industry can't understand he likes all kinds of music. Huh? No. He's got a new album coming out next year. Aren't you all excited? I know I am. I'm really excited because you know why? I'm going to get some views. I'm going to ride that pony all the way to Cashville, Tennessee. Population, Darren. Look. I don't get it. I never will get it. Stephen Wilson might like lots of different music, but guess what? He's not a musician. Nothing he's done has been authentic. Why? Again, I always ask, why do you like Stephen Wilson? Why do you like Porcupine Tree? You know? Oh, my stomach started gurgling. God, there's a combination. Beto and Wilson. Oh, blimey. David says, how are you coping with the cost of heating? The smart meter is going off the charts and I'm only having that heating on an hour. You don't want to know. Shall we have a look? You don't want to know. It's one of the reasons I'm not buying anything, because I need my assets. I need my money to afford. That's without the cost of shopping, because the shopping bill is incredibly high. Thank you, Mr. Putin. I know the last time I looked at it for this month, I think it was 170 quid. And that's without standing order charge. So we're going to go well over 200 quid. Let me have a look. I'll get it for you. And we can all have a laugh. Oh. Do. Of course, I'm with OVO Energy. Not that makes any difference. Oh dear. Oh, gurgle. And let's say usage. Oh my god. Fuck. That's gone up. Let me get the thing so I can see the screen. Oh my god. And that's without standing. That's without the standing order charge. Let's see what that is compared to last year. Yeah, so it's not yearly. I don't want yearly. So yeah, we're looking at, oh god, I mean the gas bill, we're doing like we're doing about 350 a day. Though last week we did nearly 5 quid. Jesus Christ, that's so expensive. That's ridiculous. Let's compare that to last year. Can I scroll backwards? Can I? I am now scrolling back through time, everyone. Entertain yourself. Ah, there must be an easier way of doing this. Oh, wait a minute, I can just do it. Can I do it like that? Ah, here we go. Right, so this time last year, we did £28 worth of gas and 65 quid's worth of electricity, so it's just under, so it would have been just over, with the standing order charge, it would have probably been about 120 quid. We've put an extra 100 quid on, I think, doing the math. I knew this was coming because I'm a smart bastard, and I've been squirreling the money away into our OVO account for the last few months now. You know, I've always been putting more money in than we need, but you know, we should be all right. Plus, we got some money from the government, which I've put in. You know, so you know, I've been squirreling money away. That's it. But yeah, it's stupidly expensive, David. But there was a thing, again, I don't know whether to do a coffee time on it. I really should do a coffee time special, because there was a really good article. I'm going to pull it up now while I can. Where are we? Got to find it now, because I tweeted this the other day. Here it is. This is an article in the Daily Mail. I know it's awful, but they did a very, very good expose of Bulb, which was a British. Here we go. Here's the article though. It's called. Well, it's all there. Look, see. It's all there. But I should do a coffee time about it, because, in fact, I'm going to add that to my reading list so I don't lose it again. There they are. Anyway, so yeah, those two chumps ran Bulb, which is a British energy concern that went under, and they made millions out of it. They sold shares in the company. This is a company that never made any profits, but they talked a big game. They pushed the whole green energy concern. You know, it was, we're going to be green and ethical. They were the opposite of ethical. One of them lives in a mansion because he cashed out. Again, he paid for this mansion in cash, and then he also cashed out 4.5 million quid's worth of shares in the company, a company that made no profits. You go, excuse me, that sounds very dodgy. His co-owner did the similar thing. I think he cashed out about 4 million, half a million less of shares. Then it went bust, and the government, using taxpayer money, have been propping up to a tune of, was it £6.8 billion? £6.8 billion. Do you know how many nuclear power stations we could have built with that? 6.8 billion. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, the government could have. This is all really making me angry, because this is the culmination of Thatcher's privatisation of the utilities. They figured out a way around 2010 to exploit those utilities. They figured a way about how to make money, how to go in with a million. I think they invested $500,000 in this one. They went in with $500,000 and they walked away with, well, at least 10 million in profits. That's not bad, is it? You go with $500,000 and you walk away with 10. That's not bad. And no one's getting it off of them. And we are paying, like I say, 6.8 billion to prop it up. People should be angry about this. I know I am. You know, I know that what's going on in Ukraine is one aspect of this, but there's a whole other aspect to this, and Bulb wasn't the other. There was a load of other smaller electricity companies, gas utilities, whatever you want to call them, that went under, and they all operated in the same way, and it was all about financial liquidity for other businesses and whatnot. And they walk away from it without doing anything wrong. They can go and start another business. They're not even struck off. They're not even made bankrupt. This is the annoying thing. And we let this happen, and the government lets this happen, and we pay for it. It's a bigger bailout than when the banks went under. You know that. It's absolutely bizarre. It really is. Andrew says, like your review of the Soft Machine bundle, sounds good. Clint says, box sets of days past are. Well, again, one, they were cheaper. Two, I was making more money out of YouTube, so I could do it. I don't make a fraction. I make a third of what I used to make, so I can't, with good grace, do it. And also, when it comes to sell them, I take a bigger hit. In the old days, if I took a hit, it wasn't so bad because I was getting money in from YouTube, so it kind of, it kind of supported itself. I have developed a wheeze since the dog dying. So yeah, it's not something I can afford to do now. It's expensive enough just for me to buy that Soft Machine album. It's only because I really like it, and I'm really pleased that it turned out well. That was 20 quid. That's expensive, I think I should just move on to just CDs, second-hand CDs, very cheap these days, And also, you've got to remember, when I was doing it, I was the only one doing it. I was the pioneer. Record companies weren't doing this, the artists weren't doing it. And now, everybody, crikey, Brian May unboxed the Queen one. I can't compete with that, even if I make a funny joke about it. He's always going to get more views than me. So a lot of the novelty has kind of worn off because the artists and the record companies have got wise to it. So they put out their own promotional unboxing videos. So, unless I don't know, feed them into the wood chipper as a unique take on appreciating these overpriced, cash grabs. I'm just trying to think of a polite word. There's not real much point me doing it because I'm irrelevant now. Nobody wants me. Only you guys want me. Only you guys really understand me and appreciate me. Because I'm not like the others. The others are, the other music reviewers are nice. And do nice reviews, whereas I'm not. I'm a nasty man. I'm a bad man. How dare he speak his mind and upset the fans? So. I just wish it was like the way it used to be, because I could do that. It was fun, and I could take the piss out of this stuff. But I can't do it. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of things on YouTube that I can do. Because I think my ship has sailed. And I always knew this was going to happen. This is not. I don't lie awake at night worrying about this. I lie awake worrying about, Hannah, and that's what you learn is important. This is just fun because I can turn this on. I can talk. I can pick up a record and just talk and stream it or record it with minimum effort. I don't need to write a script. And I think that annoys people, And also I can talk normally without editing the air out of my sentences like other YouTube people do, which I find thoroughly irritating and alien. We do not speak like that. We do pause. We do go e, because that's what makes us human, Otherwise, I would be the Review Otron 5000. I give this 5 stars. Maybe that's what I should do. Where are we? Convinced. I went into my local bookshop today. They might as well have their own Bowie section, as there's so many biographies of him. I remember reading one a long time ago. Thomas says you should make the viewers who request reviews the box sets pay for them. Yeah, that's not going to work. I used to do like a wish list, and people used to be very generous and buy me box sets back in the day. But you know, then people say you're e-begging and, you know, get a bit grumpy with me when I sell them on because, yeah, I don't have the space, you know, to keep all this stuff. We only live in a small flat, you know, so it's, you know, it's all my junk that's here, you know. So I took that down. Part of me, you know, doesn't feel comfortable with that. Part of me does. If everyone's on board with it, that's fine. But, you know, people can get very jealous of other people supporting you, and that's what you're dealing with, especially when you're small like me. I can't go to YouTube Control and say, look, I'm getting a load of grief, I'm getting people impersonating me and posting a load of lies about me, and then they do something about it. No, that doesn't work for me. So, you know, all I want to do is have a bit of fun here and, you know, and talk about the things that catch my eye. And I don't think that's what makes me popular. I think box sets make me popular. You living vicariously through me makes me popular. Thomas says, I do like video of Stephen Wilson's self. It's quite clever. Is it? Have you seen Cry by Godley and Cream? That's even cleverer. Grant says, Stephen doesn't want to be called a pr. Convinced says, Wilson is dropping records like music is going out of fashion, because it is. And, well, again, he sells a minuscule amount. I mean, crikey, that last Porcupine Tree record, that went in the bargain bin really quickly. So did his previous records. They get reduced to clear very, very quickly, I've noticed. You know, if you're doing that, you know, it makes sense to always be in the public consciousness with a release. But these records are not going to be remembered in 10 years' time. They're not going to be remembered. These aren't classic albums. These aren't, you know, I don't understand what they are, culturally speaking. And the only reason here is because he is like the last man standing, you know. That's fine. But I'm allowed to express myself. Freedom of expression. Grantman says progressive. He doesn't really label progressive. That's because he's not progressive. He's not anything. What is he? Do you remember when he promised he's going to do an album of like songs that are inspired by the pop hits of the 80s? Do you remember that? Do you remember what a turd that turned out? Gamer says, how are you? What was my favourite movie? My favourite movie is Midnight Cowboy. There you go. Russell says, do you think the Rolling Stones are more of a singles band? Yes. I don't think they're an albums band at all. I think they're a really good live band, and I think they're a singles band. I totally agree with that. I find their albums really difficult to listen to. And, you know, that's why people say to me, oh, Darren, you should do the Rolling Stones. And I go, really? You're not paying me enough money for that? You're not paying enough money for that? You know, Rolling Stones' greatest hits, I can do that one. I can do that one. Russell says, do you think the Rolling Stones... Oh, I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm repeating myself when under stress. Thomas says, will they all be able to afford energy bill increases, mortgage rises, inflation and tax rises? It's ridiculous. Well, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. At this rate, I might have to go and get a job. Yeah, that ain't working out too well either, is it? Maybe I should become a professional dog walker. Oh, Cyrus, that's very kind of you. Best of luck with the vet's bills. Take care and see you soon. He's donated $10. Now, Cyrus, and again, I forgot to do this because of what was happening. Cyrus, let me just relax. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you get if you splice Steven Spielberg, Alfred Hitchcock and Russ Meyer into the machine that guy in The Fly made? What would come out? I'll tell you what would come out. Cyrus Jabari, probably the most exciting voices of a generation when it comes to movies and direction. He's not paying for this. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. He's got a film called called Cybernetic Void, and it's going to be on at the Shockfest Film Festival on December the 10th, indeed. But you'll be able to stream it via Filmocracy, courtesy of Shockfest, and yeah, you can get tickets from them. And I've got a little bit of a thing here. You can register there, and you can get a code to get 50% off. And this is what you do, right? Is that all going to come out like gibberish? Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do that better. That's not right. I'm going to have to do it one bit at a time, because that's going to look bollocks otherwise. That's a technical term, right? So what you do is first you register a free account on filmocracy.com, right? And then you go here. This is the Shockfest link, right? Yeah. And then you scroll and get a 2022 all pass thing, right? Here, right? That's the third thing you need to do. And then you can use a code to get 50% off your ticket to see his film. There you go. And that is on, what date is it again? December the 10th. That's on December the 10th. Sorry, did I blank out then? Did I press the wrong button? I think I did, sorry. I pressed the wrong button and I blanked out. I went like this. Really, I should have been like that. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. But yeah, Cyrus has got a film on. Do go and watch it. I just posted the thing. I feel very silly now because I pressed the wrong button. David says, have you seen the Paul McCartney 7-inch singles box set? Yes, I have. It's £600. Yeah. Perhaps he doesn't realise there's a cost of living crisis going on. He doesn't care. He's Paul McCartney. It's like that Yes one, isn't it? Which is like 500 thing. Kevin says, Wayne Coyne unboxed the 20th anniversary Yoshimi CD set of Flaming Lips channel. Good old Wayne. Indeed. I know it went off. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, guys. I remember your review of Small Creeps Dave on Mark Rutherford. I love that album, but you're brutally honest and gave it 3 out of 5. I like your honesty. Thank you. And says Stephen Wilson or Francis Dunnery. You have to choose one. I don't choose either of them, you know that. I pressed the wrong button. Kevin says my favourite film is A Clockwork Orange, Kubrick's adaptation. Second film is Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. Well, I also like 2001. Again, all the films of Kubrick are worth your consideration, except for Eyes Wide Shut. I keep saying I'm going to watch it again because I really didn't get it the first time round. I think it's the only Kubrick movie I went, I don't get it. Mainly because Tom Cruise is so utterly sexless in it, and so is Nicole Kidman. They are, even though they were married, they were two of the least sexy people ever. And you go, they don't fuck. You just, what about? They've never fucked. You know. I've gone off. Yeah, no, sorry. I haven't run out of electricity. I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry. I pressed. Look, I did this. Oh, how did I do it? How did I do it? Oh, wait a minute. I still don't know how I did it. I must have just pressed the wrong button. Ah! Allen keys falling onto the floor. No stream, indeed. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. It was like the end of The Sopranos. I know. Cyrus says, oh wow, thank you very much for support, really appreciate it. I was going to actually do a video, Cyrus, but I kind of got a bit distracted. I was going to do a video on the channel and do it on Twitter as well, and I still will. I still will. I was a bit preoccupied last week, and I forgot, and I'm sorry, because normally I'm good with these things, and I will. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna do it properly. I'm gonna do it properly. God damn it! And you're gonna get the best promotion I can afford, which is nothing. I can't afford anything, which makes it even more special because it's free. And I'll do no, because I think it's good. We should all support each other. You know, we should all help each other, and I only cry a little bit if my friends are more successful than me. I'll only cry into my pillow. Why Cyrus won an Oscar? It should have been. I'll get over it. But no, it's nothing, Cyrus. Look, we've been mates for a long time. Virtual mates, not real mates. Virtual mates for a long time. I'm sure you'll do exactly the same for me one day. You won't. But no, it's my pleasure. I know it means a lot to you, and it's really cool that you've done this. And yeah, like I said, I want to help. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want to help? Huh? And sorry, Anne says I adore Space 2001. So do I. Thomas says, Darren, when the stream goes off, we miss you. Well, I've got to finish sometime. Convinced says Nicole and Tom, very unsexy, less chemistry than the modern day Liam Gallagher and Noel Gallagher. I don't know. I think both of them want to fuck each other, but not in a good way. They want to fuck each other up. Again, it was a really strange film. I think, again, if the two leads had been, you know, people that, I don't know, had some sort of chemistry. No chemistry. And it's a film that is about sex. All of it is sexless. And I think Kubrick, again, I think he was playing with us, because there is this conspiracy theory that he was doing it to kind of break up their marriage. He was doing it. He made that film because he kept him in England a long time, because he hated Scientology and he wanted to damage Scientology, because it is about a cult, you know, it's about a sex cult sort of thing. And it's Kubrick that you've got to read between the lines. And I've got a feeling that's why I didn't get it, because there was this whole, you know, subtext in the movie that we all weren't aware of. You know, and when it was released shortly after Kubrick's death, and so I think, again, I was a bit raw over that. I was thinking, oh man, Kubrick, one of my favourites. And you sit down and you watch it and you go, and I got a feeling if I watch it again with the whole, you know, Scientology, Tom Cruise is a closet gay, you know. I didn't say that. That's what people allude to. I think he's a very straight man who likes women a lot. You know, so it's, you know, it should be, I reckon watching it again with this, because I always felt there's something off about it. I always got the feeling that Kubrick was trying to say something else, and I was too dim to recognise. You know that thing when you go, and again, I remember reading, I don't know if it was the anniversary of the film coming out, and there was this big write-up, and there was this thing about, you know, Scientology in it. I'm thinking, wait a minute, maybe that was it, because Kubrick was very, very smart, you know. So Convict says we shall weep by your internet grave. Steady on now, steady on. I ain't going anywhere. And says Arachnophobia is being remade for 2023. Do we need to? A whole video? No, it's not. It's only going to be a little advert. It's going to be a tiny little advert. It's going to be really short. Convinces, and really, the scene with the spider coming out of the popcorn and up in the pensioner's nose was not PG. Simon says, good evening, Dan. Sending much love from Australia. Thinking of you at a difficult time. We're all here with our unconditional support, I'm sure. Thank you. And so he says, yeah, almost all of Kubrick's films are a must-watch. They are. He took a genre. He always made the best genre movies, whether they were war movies or historical, ones, or, sci-fi, horror, you name it. He took a genre movie and he elevated it, into something else. And that's without all the projects he didn't make, I mean, there have been many documentaries about Kubrick and, his obsessiveness and his many box files of ideas. Again, this is somebody you mourn for their lack of, that potential being robbed for us, because I imagine if he'd have stayed alive, he would have been making more films, But again, it did take him an awful long time. He was one of those people. And Cyrus is off. You take care too. What's the worst film I've ever seen? Black Swan. I didn't even have to think about it. Black Swan by, was it Darren Aronofsky, who I'm a big fan of. Black Swan. Oh, Simon, you didn't have to. Simon's just given me 20 Australian dollars, which is probably worth about, 78p, I believe. Joking. That's a joke. I am joking. They should. Why doesn't YouTube do a translation of the money? Because what it does is it tells me what my money is in dollars, which is even though I've got it set to pounds, in the chat room, it's in dollars. So that $20 is just I don't even know what that is. Convinces don't watch Mother with Jennifer Lawrence, psychodrama, and that's an Aronofsky one as well, isn't it? Again, that's supposed to have a subtext about Mother Nature and things. Strangers keep coming into my house. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Simon. It's very kind of you. I was explaining my troubles of getting another dog, so any funds will probably go into the big dog pot, because it's just more difficult than it needs to be. It's just difficult. Everything's difficult. Thomas says, I talked to myself with Black Swan and Mother then. That's all right. No, I know what you meant, Simon. I know what you meant. Well, Black Swan, that's the one with, oh God, I remember everyone raved about it, and I watched it, and I thought it was the biggest load of bollocks I'd ever watched. And I like bollocks, I really do. I like pretentious wank. I love me. I'm a Peter Greenaway fan. I love pretentious wank. And I sat through Black Swan, and I went, what the f*** did I just watch then? Oh, and threw in £2, which I know that's worth £2. Though by the time YouTube take their cut, it's probably more £1.78, because they've got to get their grubby fingers on it, haven't they? Got to keep the lights on. It's very kind of everyone for to help me with my campaign of being a great e-beggar. Oh dear. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm fairly easygoing when it comes to movies, because I admire the art form, because it's something I can't do, and it's very, very few movies that I'll be like exhausted by. TV shows, on the other hand, you've got to keep me interested, or I'll turn you off. I would turn you off. David says 20 Australian dollars is £11.19. Just check Google. Thank you for that. So why can't YouTube tell me that? Surely there must be a thing that translates it into, the money in your area. Yeah. Well, I just don't understand. Why can't it do that? You'd think it'd be clever. Quint says, what about Lynch films, Darren? Dune is visual spectacle, yet sloppy. He wants to do a director's cut. Have you heard? He's feeling a bit nostalgic for Dune. And, yeah, Lynch has expressed, after many years of publicly denying it, the film. He wants to go back, and I know there's an awful lot of footage of that film that didn't make it into the movie. I love it. I think it's better than the one that they made. You know, I think it's bonkers. You know, because the book is bonkers. It's a bonkers book. You know, and I think the new version was all right, but I found it utterly boring. You know, it was boring. Whereas I like the pantomime of Lynch's original. You know, it was delightfully visually bonkers. You know, it was great stuff. You know, whereas the new version was a bit dour. You know, dour and so here we go again. Everything's slate grey and got that blue tinge to it. And here we go. But yeah, what Lynch's movies? I've missed a few of those. You know, I was a big fan back in the day, but I fell off. I'd have to pull up his filmography. I know there are a few of his that I have David Lynch. Let's have a look at his Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Where are his films? We've got to find his films. Here we go. Eraserhead. Yeah, I've seen that one. Elephant Man. Yeah, definitely seen that. Dune. Absolutely. Blue Velvet. Love it. Wild at Heart. Yeah, that's the one with Nick Cage in. Twin Peaks. Fire Walk With Me. Yeah, seen that. Lost Highway. Yeah, seen that one. Straight Story. I forgot he did that. That is delightful. Mulholland Drive. That was a long time ago. I have seen it, but I think my brain's... Inland Empire I don't think is the one I've seen. I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. So it's only one of his films I haven't seen. That's funny, I thought there were more. Or is there more? Let me have a look. No, that is it. Crikey. So there's only one of his films. Oh, I thought he'd done more. When was that? 2006. Yeah, the last one I saw was Mulholland Drive. Wasn't that one? Wasn't there a bit of in that? Wasn't it? Wasn't that one? There's a bit, you know. Naomi Watts. What happened to her career? Yeah. Wasn't there a bit of yeah. Lost Highway was weird though, wasn't it? But I do like the Straight Story. It's really genteel. It's really nice. And the great Harry Dean Stanton's in that. Yeah. Anyway, where are we? King says, do you like Tommy? What, the movie or the album? I love the movie. I think it's better than the album. A hot take? Wasn't that a hot take? Whew. I feel so... The film, I love the film, Tommy, because Ken Russell directed it. The great Ken Russell, who is just... Mwah. And again, a director I miss every day. He's up there with Derek Jarman. Well, Derek Jarman used to work with Ken Russell, didn't he? Do you remember? He was. He helped him. He was one of the was he set producer or something like that. Two of my favourites. Again, British directors are just, you know. Alan Parker. There's another one who used to hate Peter Greenaway. Peter Greenaway is still going though. I think he's 80 something now. He said he was going to kill himself when he got to 70, but he lied. Now he's 80, and they've done a recent reissue of Draftsman's Contract, which I keep threatening to buy. Because I love those 80s movies, you know. Some of his movies I've kind of fell off. It's hard to keep up. They don't show them on the telly anymore, do they? No, I like Tommy the film, and yeah, Quadrophenia's all right. Convinces alternate June. Good to hear. Cannot wait. Well, that's if it happens. But there was, I think, wasn't his original edit something like 6 hours long? Imagine if you get that. You know, that would be the most comprehensive version of June, wouldn't it? But June is it's a bit like Flash Gordon. It's got that same kind of aesthetic to it. You know, I like it. You know, I don't think it's bad. I think it works because, again, if you've ever read the novel or you've read Frank Herbert's writing, it can be a bit, it can be a bit tricky to absorb. If you're not a sci-fi nut. I think Lynch does a very good job of making it accessible via that movie. A very difficult concept, some difficult concepts to get in there because there's religion and whatnot, politics. There's a lot going in there. There's a lot of history, and he doesn't dwell on it. And I think he does a really good job of simplifying it. But I think, again, a lot of people who really love the books and that don't like it because of that. It's that battle between the novel and the movie, and these are two very different. Look at what Kubrick did with The Shining. Creates an amazing horror film, but Stephen King hates it because it's nothing like his book. But you have to kind of pull out the elements and reconfigure it for the different media. It's that's the genius of it, and that's why Lynch did what he did with Dune, I believe. But also there was there was a little bit of studio interference, quite a bit of studio interference. Convinces Inland Empire is underdog. Some great cam work. I have to check it out if I ever see it. And says Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth is also sensational. I didn't get that one. I remember watching that years ago. Everyone was raving about it. I was like, oh. I'm not a big fan of Guillermo del Toro. Or William Ball is his English name, I believe. Mulholland Drive. Is that it? That's the one? Yeah, Mulholland Drive, yeah. If I remember. Convinces Derek Jarman takes back to the Garden and Caravaggio ahead of his time. Again, very, very sad when he went. Caravaggio is just just a beautiful looking movie. And of course, around the same time, went on to direct It's a Sin, a Pet Shop Boys video, and uses the same colour palette, same tonal palette that you used in Caravaggio for the It's a Sin video, and managed to make something quite sumptuous on the cheap. Brilliant guy. Sean Young in June. She played Rachel in Blade Runner. Absolute stunner. Mad as cheese though. Absolutely bonkers. Thomas King Shine is top class. Ever watched Wicker Man? Have I ever watched The Wicker Man? It's one of my favourite films. Everyone know. Are you new here, Thomas? Are you new? Are you having me on? Yeah, I like The Wicker Man, but not the remake. Well, I like the remake too, but for completely different reasons. Not the bees. The karate kicking women. That's. I remember watching that, sitting down and going, "Come on, missus, it's the remake of The Wicker Man. Let's see how bad it is." Ooh, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. It's bad. Convinces all work and no play makes Darren a dull boy. Indeed. I'm a very dull boy indeed. Oh, should we stop here then? I think we'll end there with me being a dull boy. I think that's a good note to end on, because I am a very dull boy. There is nothing other than what you see. This is who I am. I am the guy, the family man, who sits and tries to fix things and make everything all right. And thank you for watching. It's been we kind of wrestled it. It's been nice. You've helped me take my mind off things, so that's been really kind of you. And we'll do this all again next time, hopefully. Oh, Sam says, have you ever seen Threads? Yes, I've seen it. Yes. I was there. Oh, there's a big spurt of conversation. Keep safe, says Simon. I will. Thomas says, night. Brilliant stream. Good luck finding a dog and keep your head high. Well, if you follow me on the Twits or Facebook, I'm sure there'll be news there. Look, again, I said to the kids, I showed them the bomb scene from Threads and the bomb scene from The Day After. I said, you kids, you know nothing, you're soft. We had Threads and The Day After and the AIDS commercial. That's what we had to grow up with. That made you tough. Forget being in the trenches of World War One. We had real trauma to deal with. That's a joke. You're meant to laugh. People think I'm being serious. I have to be careful. Nighty night, Andrew. Laters, everyone. Yeah, well, you know, we're working on it. We're working on it, and yeah, be careful of those hot water bottles. Remember, they shouldn't. It shouldn't be hot. It shouldn't be boiling. You should let it stand for a bit. You should never put boiling water into a hot water bottle. Remember that. It should be, you know, not quite boiling. How'd you measure it? But yeah, stay warm. What we all need is, you know, the old all-in-ones, you know, with the flap at the back, you know. That's what we need. Keep us warm overnight. And with that, I've painted a picture. I'm going to leave. Thank you for watching. Remember, folks, if you can't be safe, but more importantly, don't tell your mother. Ta-da.